We're back. Today I want to talk about Tina Peters. For those of you who don't know who she is, we encountered her when we thought something was wrong with the 2020 election. Mike Lindell did a symposium about what happened to the 2020 elections. He had digital warriors. They were going through all
Yep.
the footage of what exactly happened, where the interference was coming from. And Tina Peters was the clerk for Colorado in Mesa County. And she was basically a whistleblower. She explained her situation of being in the office, and she got interrupted by a barrage of people coming through. Um, and they were going to take down or erase the system, I think, something like that. Well, she decided she was going to download everything before they did that
Mm-hmm.
and keep the information and give it to Mike. Mike had a bunch of digital people that were going to go through the anomalies that happened that night, and she basically was making people aware of what happened. She was being bombarded by the Secretary of State, by the governor. She was, I think, even let go of her position eventually, and now she's been jailed. And I don't know how long that's been happening. I haven't kept up on the story, but um, her health is in jeopardy. She was sentenced to 9 years. She's not going to last that long. She's in solitary confinement. She's elderly. She's a cancer survivor. People are really concerned about her. She's um, deteriorating pretty quickly from what we have gathered. President Trump is aware of the situation, has posted on social media about the situation, but people are continuing to put pressure on President Trump to do something. They are asking people to call the White House between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. You can call and people will answer the phone and they will ask you, what your message is to President Trump. And people are saying, free Tina Peters. We want her um, back out from prison to enjoy the rest of her life. This was never supposed to happen. This is horrible. It's political. It's not even a legitimate reason to put her in prison, let alone solitary confinement. So we are on the Free Tina Peters movement and trying to get people to be aware of that whole situation. So pray for her and her family.
Her office was also ransacked too while they were doing um Mike Lindell's thing, right?
Yes, she was on a plane. She was getting to the symposium, and as she's on the plane, her whole office is being turned upside down.
Yeah.
Uh, and so she was fearful back then for her life, but she was not going to stop. She's a hero in my book. She really fought for this country and for our voting rights.
For
And
her state too.
correct. Which again, blue state, what do you expect? So there's that whole thing. So please pray for her, and if you can get those phone calls in, let's get her out of prison. And for those of you who work in retail, something weird happened for Black Friday. I have been with my
Mm-hmm.
company now almost 2.5 years, and in the 2.5 years that I've been there, this has never happened, especially on a holiday week. We get paid either by our commission or by our hourly pay, whichever one is more. They own, I think, 18 stores now, and every single store and every single salesperson made hourly pay this week. I know there was boycotts with Amazon and Target and Walmart, and some of the Walmarts were actually just like ghost towns. Nobody was in them. I think there's something more going on here. I don't think this is just merely boycotts. I think people financially cannot make it. This is one of the worst Christmases we've ever had. I think
Yeah.
everybody's going to have one gift this year, and that's it. Um, we haven't even done our stocking stuffers, which we normally do on Black Friday. This is a horrendous Christmas. Not to mention all the Muslims coming around, cutting our Christmas trees and making our shopping a nightmare, hating
Yeah.
why we celebrate Christmas. It's just been craziness all over the place. And the invasion has taken over everything. Um, and what I don't understand is these are entitled people. They've got money, they've got a place to live, they've got food, more than what we citizens have at the moment. Um, for those of you who are lucky enough to be prepared for the collapse that's coming, may already be, on its way. I know it's a slow process, but I think it's going to happen very, very quickly. Um, some of us were not able to be prepared. We couldn't buy gold, couldn't buy silver. We're just trying to survive on what we make. And some of us are making a lot less than we did a year ago.
Yeah.
Circumstances happen, life happens, and sometimes you're just not prepared for it. And I'm not prepared for a collapse of the financial system to where those of us that can't do anything, our hands are tied, may suffer the consequences of it. Um, I'm hoping that's not the case, but I keep hearing, well, if you weren't prepared, those of us that couldn't prepare because, we're just trying to, just live a life of, just leave us alone and let us live our lives. It's just not happening. Um, I've got family that's suffering too. It's not just us. There's people that are seriously on the verge of losing homes, losing jobs, losing whatever little they do have. It's just such a bad situation for a lot of people right now. And it seems like the American citizens are taking the brunt of it. I don't know how other countries are doing with the invasion. If there's other citizens of other countries that are doing the same exact thing where they just have nothing and are worried about losing what they do have. Um, we have no problems going and living off grid other than a financial way of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some people can't pay the rent. We can't pay our mortgage. Um, the mortgage prices this year kind of went a little bit more overboard than we expected. And so we're just really suffering the consequences of what this country is going through. And I know that some of it I think Trump is out of touch with. Great, gas prices are going down, food prices are going down, but jobs are still a problem for a lot of people, especially if you live in a sanctuary state where the jobs are going to the immigrants, are not going to the American citizens. Um, and I think some of that's even intentional. Uh, I know somebody that's trying to get a job right now, and I think because he's a citizen, he's having a harder time getting hired.
The jobs he's been applying to only want the minority. They don't want any white majority. So it's a racial thing for sure. It's been confirmed. It's just this we are right now. And what's very frustrating about it is you're supposed to have more freedoms in this time, and they've been stripped from you decades before.
Yeah.
So we've been looking into all this and where it all started. And unfortunately, it comes to the Muslims believing they were here long enough to have a say in America, and they believe that they make America great, even though statistically speaking, they don't. They didn't assimilate over here. They tried to recreate their home over here. And over time, it happened, and now they want more control. They want more of things being their way. They don't like our holidays. They don't like what we stand for. They don't like America. And
And they've spread that disease to other citizens that actually live here.
yeah.
And it's a mindset that's destroying the world.
So companies are not just compliant with it, but they're also more compliant with not hiring whites, only colored people or people of color. And it's not a race thing. It's supposed to be, are you qualified for this position? There's a merit system, and there was always one of those stupid systems where it was, you need experience for this job, but they're not going to give you the experience by training you for this job.
Well, and what started the whole thing was, oh, if you hire a percentage of minorities, you get a little bonus.
Yeah.
So what did they do? They took it a step further, and now it's all minorities.
Yep.
And that's not America.
No. What made America great was that you had a lot of different people from different backgrounds pitching in and trying to build this country stronger as a team, as a united front. And then as those morals died off, as those people died off, what you had was hate and more hate, and things just kept turning to how can we limit people? How can we cause division? And so now that's what they wanted. They want everybody to see color first, not merit.
And then you have, hostile work environments, which
Yep.
have escalated. And, oh, you can't complain to anybody because the ones in charge, this is how they want it. So it's a system that's just completely breaking down. Now, with the collapse of the economy, they're talking about the collapse of possibly some of these jobs that are being offered. These companies may go under, um, and that's fine with me because they're not managed properly anyway. And they're saying, hey, if you have an entrepreneur uh, sense of things, you could build your own business and rival the ones that will be collapsing.
The problem is you need money for that.
Yeah.
And I've already made ideas and thought of things like that once I'm governor. Um, but that's 4 years from now.
And a lot
So
can happen in 4 years.
there's a lot. I've had a lot of time to think and plan, but you don't know what could happen in 4 years. So there's a issue with will the plans I'm making be relevant to that time? But regardless, I've got 4 years to plan, 4 years to look at how things are going to play out and make my move. But right now, what I need is time to prepare and the backing of my followers, which thank you guys so much. Luckily, this podcast has been well received,
Yes,
and
we thank
people
you.
are very, very happy with what's going on. And I do apologize for the long videos. It's just there's been a lot of information and a lot of things we've been covering that wasn't supposed to reach an hour, but it has. um, so if you watched the whole video, thank you so much. Um, it's one of those fun things where you're figuring things out, first time going with all this, and iron out the kinks as you go.
With our ministries, we were on Facebook, we were on
YouTube.
YouTube, Twitter at the time, it was Twitter, um, and I was on Rumble. I was kind of playing around with it. So we had a lot more connections to people. This time around, we're not using Facebook. We're not using a lot of the social media this time. So we're relying solely on X and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And to start something on just X and YouTube is very difficult.
But we also had people we were partnering with too that helped us.
Yes.
They would catapult us. They would send the videos everywhere, and they would really help us out with getting the word out there about us. So this is just us alone doing something, and it's a little more difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. But on the brighter side, Cam got a huge promotion, and very proud of him. He got credentialed, and he's now working at the Pentagon.
Which is well deserved.
Yeah.
We're really happy to see him off the streets. If you guys are independent journalists and you're risking your lives, please get off the streets. We don't want to pray for you guys. Every day you guys go out there and risk your lives. So we're very happy he's in a building, very safe, and doing a phenomenal job, of course. So
the independent journalists out there are doing a very dangerous job. It's well needed though, because as you can probably tell, the other news networks are not out there covering everything every day. They're not out there to actually give you the full coverage. And if they are, they're giving you bits and pieces.
Yeah.
They're not going to show you the full thing. So that's why they're out there doing a job that is very dangerous and underwhelming because they're not getting
the views, they're not getting the following. We are also the reason why Cam got in there too is the media had to sign a contract saying that they wouldn't leak information.
Right.
I think that they had to tell the truth. They couldn't alter or edit anything, and I think A lot of them just decided, nope, I'm not going to do it, and they walked out. And that gave the opening for Cam and Lance, another independent journalist, to take those places. So we're very happy for them. We are praying for more MSM to just take off and get out of here. We don't want the propaganda anymore. We want real, truthful, honest news to come out. We are also very concerned of the direction of our government. Trump's approval ratings are dropping, which is very concerning, um, because the Americans are suffering. We get that. But we also understand that we may be having some issues with our Congress. We got patriots in there. We understand that, but we may not have enough patriots in there to get Trump's agenda through. And that's the problem we're facing. If we have another term, like we did the first time Trump was in office, and people just sit on the bills and they don't move on them, we've lost our opportunity. People are concerned about 2026. We don't have much time before that. We'll be re-electing people and going through that whole process. And if these people remain in office, we're not going to get anything done. Or if we get more of the socialists in the office, it's definitely not going to get done.
Yeah.
And if this is the way Trump's 4 years go, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. And so, there's a lot of, it looks like, interference coming from both sides. Doesn't matter what side. It's just Congress, period. And so we're going to look closely into that and hope that our country doesn't just fall to the wayside because Trump can't get the things through that he needs. He is trying to get rid of Obamacare. I told you guys I was going to tell you about that. His plan is to give us the money and let us choose our own health care plans that suit us and bypass the insurance companies who make all the money off of the immigrants, off of other people.
Yeah, that'll work.
And we get left with high premiums, high everything,
I like that.
and not the care that we really deserve and need. So I love his idea of trusting the American people to dole out their own medical plans versus having insurance companies just rip everybody off. And that's where all the pork goes anyways, to the insurance companies who then feed the pharmaceutical companies, the congressmen. Everybody benefits except for us, we the people. We the people were supposed to stay in control of our government so that our government didn't rule us. Somewhere along the line, we lost that. Trump is trying to restore that. And we hope and pray. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm praying. I'm praying that things are going to start turning around for us people and that we can stop trying to suffer through the rest of this year, and hopefully 2026 will start off strong and with people that will help the American people strive and become better, and get us out of the slump that we're in. Pray for us and pray for those that are struggling right now. Christmas, unfortunately, is one of the biggest times of year people just give up on life, and we can't have that. You guys stay strong, stay united, stay focused on, whatever it is that you need to do. And if it's, I know everybody's probably struggling with this Christmas, just trying to make people happy and give what little they have. And we feel you. We feel your pain. We've had Christmases like this before, and our family's been very vigilant, understanding, very loving, and we'll get through this one again. So hang in there. We hopefully can unite together and keep each other strong in this time.
One of the problems you run into with the way the economy works is you'll get a home you could afford, but then down the road you may lose the income that helps you keep that home. And then it's just a fight to keep what you have. And the most disappointing part of that is when you are investing all of your funds into that home, it leaves very little for food and presents around Christmas time or birthdays. And especially with the gas prices too.
Yeah.
You just end up with very little. And that's what they want. The issue with the government right now is that it's wanted a lot of us impoverished.
Yeah.
It wanted to get rid of the middle class. And that's no secret. It's been there for years. But what I don't like is when you have a nice home, which usually means you have money, but you don't have money.
No.
Your money's going towards just keeping that home. And then you realize the burden of finances, you realize a lot of issues that you didn't foresee happening because life was going really good.
We
But
had excellent credit, excellent job. I was able to stay home, be with the kids, and homeschool them while my husband worked. That all went out the window 6 months after we got our house. And we've been struggling ever since until I got my job 2.5 years ago. And then you just can't foresee health issues. You can't foresee problems that happen down the road.
yeah,
And I mean, I literally had a plan by this time right now to have most of our debt paid off because I was making good money. I had this awesome, awesome plan, and it just didn't work out that way. And here we are, you know.
we're not the only ones though. This is a
No,
very common tale right now.
yeah,
This is how people end up homeless. Is that they did a good job, they got what they needed, and they didn't live outside their means. They managed their funds very, very well and responsibly, but unfortunately, the government kept upping the prices. They kept upping the mortgage or rent. They up rent all the time.
yeah. There's no
I mean,
cap on it. No cap.
the rent right now for a studio apartment is $2,000 in Oregon. That's insane.
Yeah,
One person does not make that much money. I'll tell you that right now. So you'd have to really go into trade jobs, and learn trade school stuff right out of high school, or even drop out of high school and do that.
yeah.
That's what you're looking at, and it's insane. So,
It's a broken system, and it's broken on purpose.
yeah,
So, us citizens that belong here cannot make it.
the only way people could make it is if the younger generation becomes governor of their states, and they work together, and they do what they can to spread the wealth around so no one worries about this kind of issue.
Well, so we've got the boomers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're gonna die off. Generation Xers are still in there, still fighting. Okay, but it's really your guys' generation,
Yeah.
and further on. And what's scary is the Generation Z. They've been brainwashed. They've been,
The younger Generation Z.
yeah, they've been really. It's frightening. Um, what we're looking at. They've been radicalized.
They don't understand how money works. They think that there's free money in their Apple Pay when that is tied to their credit card for Apple. So there's a lot of things that aren't being explained to them, and it's sad to see them come indebted
Yeah.
to this system instead of having a free experience with it.
Well, they're not understanding responsibility.
No.
So again,
Now, luckily, when I was in high school, I took economics, I took personal
yes,
finance, and I took um, psychology, and then I also took law and ethics, and that prepared me for a lot of stuff. I had a great teacher in all of them. But after learning about economics and learning about different currencies and how we developed into what we have today, it was also really intriguing to learn about the crash of 2008. And now I remember that I was 10 at the time, so I know how that affected my family.
they say the crash that's coming is worse than 2008 and I think 1929. So, um, I don't know. I hear conflicting stories, so I'm not really sure what's happening. I hear that there's a shadow finance thing going on at the same time, so that'll just be a smooth transition. I don't know. I have no idea. I hear that we're just going to collapse and we're going to be in trouble.
But
So,
again, that's what you get. I mean, they love
yeah,
fear mongering. They love to throw out ideas of what's going to happen, but you don't know anything for sure. So, again, it's one of those things where this generation has to rise up. Millennials could also do it.
correct.
If they're old enough, they
Yep.
could make a big difference, but it's going to come down to heart, style, and how well they understand the system. So,
If we can shrink the government so that it doesn't have so much overreach over all of us, if we can get rid of these people that don't belong in our country and around the world, if we can secure, maybe never have our borders open again. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
we used to have selective
Yeah.
borders,
Hmm.
so only certain caliber of people could come over here, and then we got rid of that. I think we should go back to letting in a certain character of people.
Well, and the vetting process may need to be refined a little bit more too,
Yeah.
so that people can't just use the system to get in.
I've got ideas of how to incorporate smaller government, but again, I won't know the extent of everything until I get in there. So, this is one of those things where a lot could definitely happen in 4 years.
Also, I want to make another point. I don't know what's going to happen for those that are on assistance, because we're also on it, with Trump pulling the funding. He's going to pull it next week from the states that did not comply with giving their information on SNAP benefits.
Yeah.
We are one of those states, unfortunately. And so I don't know how that's going to affect the U.S. citizens that are actually in need, if it's just going to cut us all off.
Yep.
I need you guys to really pray for that whole thing and see how that will turn out. I know for a fact the Oregon tax bill that they're trying to pass right now to hike up our income and everything, taxes, is to offset the lack of federal funding to our state. That's not going to help. It's not going to help to pass that on to
No.
us because you guys won't do your job and please the federal government to get your funding. So again, I don't know what's going to happen in these blue states. There's 21 of them that will not comply. Um, and so I don't know what's going to happen to SNAP benefits. We also have a governor, sorry, and an AG who decided to go against the federal government on ICE. So Christy Nome let them know, if this is your stance and you want to stay on it, you're going to be arrested. So I don't know what's happening with these governors, these AGs, these DAs that think that they can override the federal government. Um, it's not the way things work.
It's almost as if they've been lied to about what position of power they actually have.
Or they think they can be bought out of it with these donors, with whoever's running the show, because they're obviously bought and paid for. And so they're causing anarchy, they're causing the dismemberment of our whole country. They're part of it.
And the American people are carrying that burden.
Yeah. And they don't care. Let's
No.
make it clear. They only care about saving the people that don't belong here. So pray for Oregon, pray for the 21 states, because I don't know what's going to happen to the citizens that honestly need the help, that are honestly suffering like we are.
Well, and the reason that they want to cater to those people is so they get the Democratic vote.
Correct.
We don't vote with Democrat because we know how they run America. We're not impressed.
But previous governments, well, going way back, were always against the Patriots. They always wanted us just to fall in line,
Very true.
do what we're
Yeah.
told, be mindless robots, and we fought and died for this country for a reason. We didn't want to be taxed. Remember the Boston Tea Party? Remember the tyrannical government that made the Britons flee here? We're in that situation again. And
But the difference is they've rewritten our history.
true. True.
They stole the power from what we all understood and knew so that we wouldn't resist.
So this is our way of having a war without tanks, without weapons, just
Mhm.
gonna bring people into the country. Yeah. Well, it's caused problems. And now we are fighting amongst each other on assimilation, on religion, on my way or the highway, and it can't end well unless Trump does something. And again, I don't know how much of Congress he needs to, let's say, pass the Insurrection Act, let's say, declare martial law. I don't know kind of uh, red tape he's got to go through for any of that.
The other issue you're facing is it's a distraction. The Muslims, all of it's all a distraction to keep you away from thinking about the future of America. It's focusing on the present and the current issues and not what is coming up next. I mean, we've been hearing word about another pandemic potentially.
Yeah.
We've been hearing about more of the things that they're developing. They're not going to quit. So, there's a lot that we don't know is going to happen.
And it's hard to prepare too because, if we've heard the power grid could go out, water may not be may be a problem. For a lot of people, those are big things.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have some supplies because we go camping. But for the most part, we don't have enough supplies to last us, indefinite amount of time. And, I heard, hey, if you got a generator and people can hear it, yeah, you're too close to your neighbors. Well, some of us don't have the ability to just go live in the woods, and have no neighbors.
The other issue with living in the woods is it's federal land.
Yeah.
So you're not going to deal with your average police officers that find you and, whatever, for living in the streets. You're going to be dealing with federal officers, and that's a federal crime, so it's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
So, yes, you could only camp in a spot for 2 weeks and keep moving, sure, but it's a risk.
And it's hard to do without an income,
Mm-hmm.
without any way of protecting yourself and making sure you can do that. We, like I said, I mean, we had plans to fix our home up, sell it, buy land, and live off grid.
That's
And
why we invested so much money in our camping equipment.
yeah, and unfortunately, life happened and we weren't able to do it. I heard that Trump was also getting rid of the FICO score, but that's still going to determine your interest rate for a home or anything that you buy. So it's not going to completely go away, but it won't be a deterrent in order to get a home. And I get it, but until the housing market figures out what's going on, until our economy gets better, no one's going to risk getting any of these things, especially when the prices are so unbelievably high. Um,
Groceries alone.
yeah, just surviving is an issue right now. So these are
Yeah.
long-term things maybe, but not initial, we need help now. We
I
need,
mean, I helped my parents bring in about roughly 6, 7 bags, maybe 8 bags, and that was $300.
yeah,
That used to feed us, and you would get like I don't know, 12 or 15 bags of groceries.
what we bought would have cost us half
Yeah.
what we paid. And again, we, the American citizens, are suffering, and the only ones benefiting are criminals, gang members, the worst of the worst in our country. And it's so backwards, it's so wrong. Again, we believe in God, so we've been putting it in God's hands. We've been praying. Um, He is in control. But knowing what we know and trying to get the word out, hey, get ready. We don't know what's going to happen. Um, I keep hearing to find friends, find people that you know in your neighborhood, have some type of connection in case you can't communicate because phones are down, in case internet's down. There's no, I'm like, okay, that's worst case scenario. I'm not really sure how to take that. We have two elderly, his grandparents,
Yeah, members of our family.
um, who we can't just up and leave. That ties us here. And, there's a lot that goes into this for those of you who are Generation X, those of you knowing what it's like to take care of elderly people. Um,
But I mean, they do have a nice place to set up camp, though.
They do, but the issue is their health. Uh, we could easily go and pack up and leave. We wouldn't have a problem doing that. Have a problem with leaving them here. Um, so those of you in that kind of situation too, where you feel the pull of having to take care of elderly people on top of whatever craziness is going on in this world, um, we're right there with you. Got the same issue.
It's yeah, it's that time of the it's that kind of time where a generation is dying off,
Yeah.
and it's scary. It's not something we're used to witnessing. I mean, you read about it, but you don't think about it until it actually starts to happen. And so,
And sometimes it happens suddenly.
or it happens over the course of time with doctors poisoning or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, my husband's having to go to doctor appointments because the doctor's giving them medications to escalate their demise. And I'm going, what is going on? What is wrong with these people?
So doctors typically want to end the elderly as quickly as possible, and that's due to again politics.
We're also getting pressure to put them in a home, which we refuse to do. And it's
The home will cost what, a couple grand every month.
8 grand a
There
month.
you go. That's what I was thinking. But um,
We have family.
it's so
We have
frustrating.
people that can take care of them. Um, we'd rather go that route than put them in some place that's I mean, there's horror stories about these places. So no, I'm not willing to do that for people that we love. And so, yeah, we're getting hit from all fronts, not only by our government, but by family issues, jobs. It's all coming down.
Which just shows you how heartless they are, because these are the kind of people that are in the same age group as the elderly people they're trying to kill off.
Yeah.
They don't care. As long as it's not them, why would they care?
So, we're having to get new doctors. We're having to really study and find better situations and ways to help them. So it's extremely frustrating because my mother-in-law was so into alternatives to medicine, supplements, all of it, and she's lost all of that with the stroke, and it's
She
heartbreaking.
had about 20 plus years of knowledge that she was always researching and figuring out new things. She would find out what's in every veggie, what's in every fruit, everything. She would take the time to learn about what was in every kind of food.
So to lose that is very heart-wrenching. Luckily, I'm a researcher. We all are, and we've got good doctors that we look to for certain things that we're
Mm-hmm.
going through. So we're happy with that. But with my father-in-law's Parkinson's, he believes that the medicines are the only way to deal with stuff. So we're butting heads constantly with his way of thinking, and it's just been a battle. My husband, thank goodness he's off work, but he's with them all the time. They pretty much are going to need round the clock care eventually. It's coming to that point. Um, and so, you know, we're feeling the squeeze. We're feeling the pressure. We're feeling the unease of the situations happening around us. So, we're going to keep Tina Peters in our prayer. We're going to keep our government in our prayer. We're going to pray for our leaders that they will get Trump's agenda through so we can save this country. Without Trump's agenda coming through and all the bills that he wants to push through to make America great again, we've lost our country. And if we lose the midterms, I don't think we're going to have a country. It's that important.
It's very difficult to imagine or even believe that our government would be this corrupt, evil, and heartless towards the American people that built and maintain everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's still stuff today that we're doing that they have no clue about, that they haven't even tried to do themselves. Most of these politicians haven't had a job. This has been their life.
Mom Dommy. First job as mayor of New York City. Are you guys kidding me? Like, really?
No qualifications. There's nothing about him that was qualified to be mayor. He had no prior experience. He'd never even done anything.
So
But again,
that's,
I get it. It's
yeah.
about the popularity vote. It's
And
fine.
that's where you get the people that are in Washington out of touch with what the American people really are going through because they've never had a job in their lives.
Right.
And this has been their lifelong position. So they don't know what it's like to be laid off, to be on
Fired.
unemployment.
Go against their management system who wants them to fail, sabotage, whatever. They've
Well, then
got no
Nancy
clue.
Pelosi wants her daughter to take her spot. Oh, let's just keep it in the family. You guys, we've got to do something. This cannot keep happening to our country.
Even if I were to have my youngest brother run for governor to replace me, I would want it to be fair. I wouldn't have him just in there, okay?
Well, even if she were voted, it's the voting system's rigged. So,
That too, yeah.
what's the point? A lot of people are saying we don't really actually get to vote. Our votes really don't matter or don't count. I don't know. I know in the state of Oregon we don't feel like it does because we got mail-in voting. I'm not sure how the rest of the country works. I know ours is completely utterly rigged.
Well,
Um,
especially when you put one county in every single ballot.
well, what I love is when Obama got elected, I knew something was wrong when the whole West Coast went blue at 8 o'clock. Wait, polls just
Yeah,
closed.
that
How
was
could it
that
be
was
blue at 8 o'clock? That's when I started realizing something's wrong with our voting. When 2020 came along, I went to bed, Trump was up.
Yep.
I wake up and the numbers had been fudged. I was like, how do you go from being up in this state and now you're below what you were when I went to bed? Things are not making sense. I don't know if this is to wake people up to help you understand that this whole thing's rigged. I have no idea. But I do know if we don't get the right people in positions of power, we will lose this country. And if we fall, everybody falls.
So that's why I'm saying it's up to the younger generation. Let's get in there. Let's do what we can to get rid of the mail-in voting and try and change these states one at a time. This is an issue that we're seeing in our own history right now, where this is the same example of many, many times before. Everything's been repeating because we've had all the wrong people in office for so many years. We're not going towards progression. We are going towards a very different kind of America.
Mhm.
I mean, if you notice, we went from having commercials to no commercials to then commercials.
And long commercials, if you noticed, they're not just.
You could skip them, and then you can't skip them.
Mhm.
And then, for those of you who liked watching things for free,
Yeah.
okay, TV shows, whatever, reminiscing about your past, of watching these same shows, movies, things like that, now you gotta buy them or rent them. Now, we used to go to Blockbuster for that, okay, or Netflix, having them mailed to us. This is a streaming service, and they want us to pay when they used to be free.
Yeah.
See, this is what we don't want. They're trying to steal your freedoms bit by bit until you just accept everything. Because why would you resist? Why would you fight this or that? They're small. Well, it's the principle. These people don't care about principles. It's plain as day. They want what they want. And that is take as much power from you as possible. And you as a consumer, you're the one with the power, not them. They make entertainment for you. You don't make the entertainment for them anymore. So it's really stupid. So I want to see that change for sure. Um, Disney's up the creek at this point. I mean, there's no coming back from that.
I'm hoping a lot of these monopolies will just fall. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll see.
If
Right.
you do your research and you learn what corporation owns everything, especially your news networks, then you can understand where things are coming from. Now, unfortunately, the monopolies took place during Reagan's.
Reagan allowed the law to be taken place. I think under Reagan, in my opinion, it was choosing the lesser of two evils. I
Good
think
chance.
that's
Good
really what
choice. Yeah,
happened.
good chance.
Um, but Obama did a lot of damage to our country. The Bushes did a lot of damage to our country. And this is why we're here. And a lot of it happened under our noses. We weren't even aware of it because the media, everything was just spewing lies to us. And now we have to wake up and try and take the bull by the horns before everything just falls apart and we
Even
lose it
though it
all.
feels like it's too late.
It 2026 will be the end of it for sure if we don't get our act together and get the right people in place. There is a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that Kotek will not be seeking re-election. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that.
And again, you're going by word of mouth these days because you can't trust the mainstream media. What you get is a bunch of rumors going around, just like you had in the old days.
So we'll have to look into that one. But in the meantime, boy, it's going to be another phenomenal week, I think, with the SNAP benefits. We're going to definitely be keeping track of that
Yep.
and seeing what happens. And we're hoping that Congress will start making some moves and helping Trump with his agenda and get it through. Um,
Keep doing your research though.
yeah,
Don't trust whatever everybody else is saying. Look for the right sources. Look for them being confirmed.
by all means, comment. We'd love to hear
Yeah.
from you. Let us know how you guys are doing. How's this affecting you guys? In jobs, family, whatever. We can always pray for you too. We'd love to hear from you. Love for you guys to share the video. Love for you guys to like, subscribe. Just be a part of this with us so that we don't feel alone in this. We need to
Yeah.
come together and we need to start each, maybe even helping each other plan stuff. Let's start making some waves here. Oregon, we're happy you're signing the no tax uh, hike bill. I think we're at 100 200,000 signatures. I think they want 250,000 by the end of December. We can do it. This is
Hmm.
the biggest historical petition we've ever signed in the history of Oregon. Let's go. Keep going. We have to go sign it. That's one thing. We've been promoting it, but we haven't gone to sign it yet. So we're going to get out there. We're going to sign it. We're going to, get people to say no to this thing. We, the people, have the power. Um, this petition is to get it on the ballot so we can vote no on it.
Hmm.
Without the petition, they're going to try to squeezing this thing through, and we're going to say no. So
Yeah. It's
we have to take the power back, you guys. We have to say no more. We're done. Draw the line in the sand and start fighting for this country because it's worth saving.
they need to recognize us as the ones with the bigger power. This is the way it was meant to always be. The American people decide, not the people we hired for a position. So,
They are civil servants, our
hmm
law enforcement, all of it. They are paid by we the people and they work for we the people.
that's why we tell police officers with the big egos that they work for us. That's the way it works. We pay them.
Yeah.
Okay? So, just like how that's the way that they are supposed to run their business is by enforcing laws to protect us and keep us safe, not go fishing. Fishing expeditions have to end.
Yeah.
It's the same with the government that we have hired. They work for us. They are public servants. They're not supposed to be taking the money and pocketing it.
But we have to get rid of the bureaucracy, the lobbyists. We have to get rid of all of the.
Things that never should have taken place in America at all.
So we're going to pray really hard this week. You guys just keep everybody, our country, our leaders, other countries in your prayers because we're not to the extent of some of the other countries, but boy,
It's affecting everybody,
yeah.
just at different rates.
Stay positive. We're trying really hard. I mean, I hate to do these videos every week going, man, it's just more gloom and doom. But we're going to try and stay positive. We're going to try and keep each other afloat. And especially for Christmas, don't let the enemy come after you and try and take you out for Christmas. We need all the patriots that we can get to fight for this country, to keep your heads up and, keep trudging along. We're not done yet. Stay in the fight.
It's gonna be a very tricky battle to win. Very tricky, especially because these are not our expertise at all. The politicians had come up with their own language even, so we don't understand what they're actually saying. They will say things that sounds good, but you don't know what those words actually mean until you look them up. They think that makes them sound smart, but it's really just a ploy so that you're out of the loop of what's actually going on. That's why I hate political talk. I hate it. I refuse to use that terminology, and once I'm governor, I'll never use that terminology. That way, everybody knows exactly what's going on, exactly how things are being played out. So, keep your heads up. This is not over yet. And always remember that the American people are bigger and stronger than our government.
Especially if we come together. If we're divided, it's a harder fight for everybody. But if we come together and we agree that this country is worth saving, that we want the corruption gone, and that we want what's rightfully ours to be ours.
Unfortunately, even if we are able to manage this in our time, there's nothing saying that the future won't end the same way. It's been repeating in history for a long time. We're
Well,
a
and
good.
yes, but hopefully with Trump's executive orders, what he's trying to do, they can't reverse it. Let's cross our fingers and hope that what he does, if he can get it done in the 4 years, that it consistently stays the way that it is even after the next president.
It could work out that way. I mean,
Yeah.
look at all the red tape he had to go through to do what he had to do.
Well, and to try
So,
and undo 4 years of Biden is really difficult. And I don't know if he can, especially if they don't stop the filibuster, break it. Let's go. Get this stuff through. Forget about the majority votes and just get his stuff through. Um,
unfortunately, that's what they love to do to stonewall people. They
yeah.
love to just sit and do nothing. I mean, the Democrats didn't even care about the SNAP benefits. They wanted you to suffer.
Yeah, so let's remember, regardless of, who's on what side, there's rhinos on the Republican side that are working with the Democrats. All they care about is keeping their seats. Got
Yep.
got to remember that. It's not about parties. It's about patriots versus those that hate this country. Patriots got to get together. We got to keep this country going, and we got to keep it the way that it was always meant to be from our forefathers, um, and never let it get hijacked again.
If you don't like this country, you can leave.
Yeah.
Take a door. There's tons of them. Anything
So,
else?
no, I think that's good. You guys just, hang in there. We're here for you. We're, love to hear from you. Love to hear that you guys agree or don't agree. Hey, we got thick skin with big criticism. But just know that you're not alone.
And that was kind of another point of making it this kind of platform was that it can start conversation and open doors up for communication and hopefully find people like us who do our research and have more things to talk about and discuss and showcase that we're not alone, that there is actually more of us than there are of them.
Because they like to make us think that we're outnumbered.
No, we're not.
Absolutely.
We're on the side with guns. We're on the side with a lot of different things that they don't have a clue about. They think that they're tough because they can speak.
And we'll see what happens, you guys. Just stay safe this week. And, we pray for you guys all. And we're going to save this country.
Take care and thank you so much for the support. I will be checking X quite often this week. So comment, like, subscribe, whatever. We love to hear from more from all of you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.